Welcome to the Black Tower Podcast, a Wheel of Time podcast. I'm Greg.
And I'm Thorn.
And today we're going to talk about Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, obviously. So, Thorn, how's your week been so far? I know it's kind of early in the week, but this is kind of the part where I'm told by experienced podcasters we're supposed to banter. So here's your chance. Banter with me.
We've done a lot of bantering before the episode. But
yes, but you know, that's for patrons only. You know, that's
if you want to hear our before show banter.
Let's just say if you want to hear Greg do impressions of pro wrestlers, please become a patron, and you will. So, with that being said, how's your week going so far?
What have I done? I picked up my daughter last Thursday.
What have you done? Nothing. Well, it is Tuesday.
Yeah, well, no, because we record on Tuesday. Well, actually, today's Monday.
Oh, God, you're right. My week is all screwed up because, okay, so everyone is probably either going to see or have seen Endgame by this point, so I have no shame in saying that I'm recording this one night early because my brother wants to go see Endgame. I saw it Saturday night, but he has yet to go see it. I loved it so much, I'm going to go see it again, and I feel like anyone who's seen it so far would also feel that way. Thorn doesn't share the enthusiasm because Thorn doesn't like superhero movies, so you know.
I don't mind them.
Don't mind. Listen to the pre-show discussion for more on this. So, anyway, today, Thorn, I believe we're talking about the Fires of Heaven, are we not?
Yes, it's my fourth favorite book.
And it's my eighth.
If you listen to last.
Yeah, I think now the rest of the book reviews are just going to be a callback to the ranking list for both of us. So it's Thorn's number 4, it's my number 8.
So we're probably going to fight about it.
We didn't fight about Shadow Rising when, I just made the really big push that was my absolute favorite book, and, I know I'm correct, but still in all, we didn't really fight over that.
I kind of put those like next to each other, though. You ranked it number 1, I ranked it number 2.
Okay, all right, that's fair, but still 4 to 8 out of 15.
And I think you were also pretty pleased that I changed my Towers of Midnight ranking.
I'm entirely pleased. I am entirely pleased. Like,
you were fine with not arguing me on book 2.
Well, I'll just put it to you this way: I'm just glad I got you to change your mind on something. Well, like we said before just a second ago, we're going to be begin our discussion of the Fires of Heaven tonight. So, Thorn, what do our audience members need to know?
Wait, what?
This is just set up for spoiler warning. Come on, work with me here.
I wasn't expecting that. Okay. This episode will contain spoilers for the Wheel of Time up to and including the Fires of Heaven. If you have not finished reading The Fires of Heaven, then stop listening now or you will be in danger of being spoiled.
Now, I have to say, and you better not edit this out, Thorn, that Thorn is now 1 for 3 on recording spoiler warnings without messing up on the first try. So everyone, wherever you're sitting, begin applause, golf clap for Thorn. Everybody golf clap for Thorn. So, with that being said,
Snap.
Fires. Don't ask Marvel fans about snapping. Oh,
right. I know that part.
So, Fires of Heaven. Obviously, this is the 5th book in the Wheel of Time series, published by Tor, of course, and released on October 15th, 1993.
I was born in 1993.
I was born in 1990, so I was 3 years old at the time. So
that's about
math
6, 7, 8 months.
So Thorn did not yet know that there was a book in existence that she would grow up as an adult and learn to love. I was a toddler. I was pretty sure I was terrible, but even at the age of 3, my parents say I was reading, so I was getting a leg up. So this is actually the first novel in the series to not involve an appearance by each of the 3 Ta'veren from the 2 rivers, because Perrin is largely absent from this book. As far as the makeup of the book goes, The Fires of Heaven consists of a prologue, like most of the Wheel of Time books, and it's got 56 chapters. And Thorn, how about we do a quick POV breakdown from the characters?
Okay, so we've got Rand, who is the mainish character in the book at 29.9%. I say mainish because Nynaeve is right behind him at
So
29.6.
it's neck and neck pretty much. We're looking at what 0.3%.
Yeah, it's not very much. It's pretty much split up between the two of them.
Now, looks like just kind of a cursory glance, we've got at least in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like the top 10 to 15 characters. The majority of them look to be women, which for fans of the series, that's not at all surprising.
Wait, what?
Well, I'm just looking at like the POV and who holds the biggest POV, and a lot of them are female characters.
We've got
'Cause-
we've got Nynaeve, Egwene, then Elaine, and then Matt, and then Min and Swan, and then we get an appearance from Gareth Bryn.
and then we get more gays right after that.
Yeah, it's mostly
Yeah,
women though.
it's predominantly women. Like I said, once you get past the first couple of books, the spread goes from male dominated to some books female dominated, and some books that's pretty even. With this one, if you go in through everyone that has a point of view, it's somewhat even with a female tilt. But lots of good stuff in this book. Some very important things happen in this book, and of course, between this episode and part 2 of this episode that we'll record next week and premiere next week, we will go through all of that. But the main characters, like so, she mentioned Rand at almost 30%, right at 30% of the POV, followed hot on his heels by Nynaeve, and then there's a steep drop off from Nynaeve to Egwene from almost 30% to 7.5%. It's a
Yeah, that's a
huge
pretty
drop.
steep drop.
And then it just kind of slowly decreases. 7.5 for Egwene, 6.4 for Elaine. Might as well say 6.5, round that up. Matt gets 6.4, and so on and so forth. So there's quite a few characters narrating, but a lot of them don't get a whole lot.
Yeah, probably not.
I think that would be fair to say.
Or two.
Now, so let's just go ahead and jump into the plot itself. So just kind of starting out from the beginning and just kind of working our way through it, like Thorn so graciously recorded just now without messing up the spoiler warning. If you haven't read through the end of the Fires of Heaven, I guess tonight, this episode, technically halfway through, but we're just going to say the end.
Yeah, I'll say
Mm-hmm.
and then
that's exactly what I'm thinking. Is that, hey, you guys went to the end. I wasn't expecting that. You spoiled the ending for me. Well, crap. So we're definitely going to suggest that if you are reading the series and trying to listen to this podcast, we recommend you camp out on some of the other book reviews because this is not the one for you. So getting into the beginning, we start in the tower, the White Tower, obviously. Elida is struggling to hold on to her power that she has so viciously gained and connivingly achieved last book, Shadow Rising, and her advisors are struggling to cope with the idea of Rand. So Rand's debut and his actions as the Dragon Reborn are still causing major shockwaves throughout Randland. I don't know what to call it. But along with that, we see Podden Fane has showed up, and he is actually counseling Elida. Now, tell me that doesn't make a lot of sense. But he's counseling Elida. He's actually is there, and he steals the Shadar Logoth dagger back before he gets out of the tower. He manages to get past Alviarin only by convincingly bluffing that he stands high as a dark friend, because as everyone knows by this point, Alviarin is a dark friend. But then we have and here in the beginning, we have a cut over to the Forsaken. Ravine is visited by Lanfear, Samael, and Grendel. They make plans to go get Rand. They go get him. And then Morgaze flees Gabriel, which is Ravine. Gerbil. After Okay, so you
I'm
guys
going to
know
say
when she
gerbil
says
every
gerbil, she
single
means
time.
Gabriel, but I think most people know that already. Morghese flees gerbil after he shames her in front of a bunch of people, and then she takes Leanie, Talonvor, Basil Gill, and Lamgwin with her, and then Brienne also comes with Lamgwin. So
Yeah,
no,
this
it
doesn't
really
really
doesn't.
explain who
So
these people
why
are.
don't we do that?
Um, yeah, because we've got Lenny, who was the nursemaid of Queen
Hmm.
Morghese and also of Elaine. We've got Talonvor. He was a royal guard. He is loyal to Morghese and not to Lord Gerbil, because most at this point most guards are loyal to Lord Gerbil, and
Well, and that was
that's part
actually
of the
kind
reason
of
why she has
twofold,
to
wasn't it?
flee.
Because he got high
Talonvor,
up with Morghese, through his. We later learn compulsion, but it's not hard to draw the read between the lines there. But then Talonvor was
yeah,
actually.
Talonvor
Mhm.
is loyal to Morghese herself. He is not loyal
And
to
we
the
actually
throne. He
met
is loyal
him
to
in Eye of the World.
Morghese.
That was his first appearance. He was one of the ones that I think he was the one that was kind of, I don't want to say harassing Rand, but he was kind of like, who are you? What are you doing here? Type of thing. And well, no, of course not.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't blame him though. He's supposed to be
right.
protecting the queen
Now,
and the queen's
old
children.
Gerbil has basically steadily been phasing out the guards that may give him trouble and been replacing them with guards and soldiers loyal to him. So Talonvor's, yes, including
Including
Gareth
Garrett
Brand. That was
Brand.
actually a big change. He got rid of him. Well, we say he did. He did it through Morghese. He had Morghese's ear, was basically pulling the strings. Um,
Yes,
yeah, literally with the compulsion and pulling the
literally
weeds,
with
if you will.
compulsion.
And then that was lame. And we we see that Gabriel has been basically conforming the palace and everything about it around to him, especially because he basically has Morghese in his pocket. However, there's a moment where Gabriel embarrasses and kind of really puts some shame on Morghese, and it kind of wakes her up. And so she takes these important people with her.
And she goes to Lenny, and she basically tells Lenny that she wants to escape. I don't remember
Mhm.
exactly what she said, but she knew that there was something wrong. There was something wrong in her mind. She had the urge to go to Gerbil, but she didn't feel like that was actually her, which is what really hints that this was some heavy compulsion. And so, with the help of Talonvor, they actually escape the palace, and then they go to the queen's blessing
Mhm.
from Eye of the World, of course, uh, where Basil Gill and Lamgwin join her, and Brienne is just Lamgwin's
Just kind of along for the
girlfriend,
ride. She's
so
just
she
like, all
just
right, if you're
joins.
leaving, I'm leaving too. Let's go. So, so lots of things
Yeah,
happening there. And that's going to shape the things to come, obviously, because that's how Robert Jordan writes. And so, moving through that, though, we cut back over to Ruidion, where we see Rand, and he's actually living under the roof of the maidens, and that's a pretty big deal because he's the first man that's ever been allowed to live under the roof of the maidens. Um,
the reason that he's allowed to is because
mhm,
he's the son of a maiden. Because his mother, it was a wetlander who had crossed the dragon wall and got adopted by the
right.
Aiel, and who became a maiden of the spear before she crossed the dragon wall again and
Right.
gave birth to Rand
Now,
on Dragon Mount.
we see him there, and then we're also seeing they're getting ready to leave essentially and go back across the Dragon Wall. And Moraine is loading up all the different Terran that she found into from Meridian onto a couple of wagons. All the stuff she's basically claiming for the Aes Sedai. Basically taking it from the Aiel. And then Rand is getting together and he is discussing their different plans and tactics and their next step with the various clan chiefs. They all get together and discuss what their next move is. Now, what's
Yes.
go ahead. No, you're fine.
And this is, oh, sorry. I was going to say, this is where we first hear about the bleakness, which is where Aiel, um, it was in my head
Yes,
and then it went away. Guy Shine, uh, start refusing to take off their robes whenever they've reached the year and a day. And then some people are leaving their clans to join the
which
Shido.
was going to play heavily into what we're going to be talking about here over the next several minutes, because a big part, especially at the beginning of the Fires of Heaven, has to do with the Shido. Now, so coming off of
Yes.
that, the bleakness is a pretty big deal, because after this huge revelation from Rand through his trip through Ruidion, he he exposes this information to all the IEL. We talked about it pretty extensively in our Shadow Rising review. But basically, for those who may have forgotten, he basically says, "Look, you guys used to not be warriors; you used to be tinkers, and it crushed a bunch of people, made them mad, whatever." And
Well, he
no,
didn't say that they shouldn't be
right? He just told them, "Hey, you
warriors.
used to
He just
be.
revealed
This is
the
what you used to
truth.
be. You guys. He didn't really put any commentary on it. He just revealed the facts and let the facts do their own work on the IEL.
Yes, because he had to prove that he was actually the Karakarn, and the only way to prove that he had gone through
Right.
Viridian
But
was
this is
to
having
reveal the
its intended
past.
effect from prophecy, where it says that he would basically break the IEL. A lot of IEL are. I, I may
Yes.
be remembering part of this wrong, and part of this is actually just saying what you just said. But a lot of the guys shine, which, as everyone knows, are basically servant IEL. They were, taken, defeated. There's various ways to become a guy shine, but basically, it's almost a form of, um, I don't want to say punishment, but kind of. It's a way to regain honor.
It's yes, it's a way to regain honor. I wouldn't consider it a punishment because guy shine are not treated like, say, slaves, but a guy shine is supposed to serve the person
Right.
that they owe toe to. So it could be anything. It could be if you're in a battle and somebody touches you with their bare hand without using a weapon, then that's considered that gives the person who is touched a lot of toe, and it gains the person who did the touching a lot of G,
For more on
which
Baby
sounds
Toe,
very
please
sexual.
keep following the Black Tower podcast, because I got a feeling we're going to have a whole episode on this, because it's highly confusing. Um, we really should.
Yes, true. I think we should talk about it more. But that's a way that somebody might become guy shine. They might demand to be
Right.
made. They usually demand to be made guy shine because
But now, due
it
to the
causes them a
facts
lot
that
of
have been revealed
dishonor.
by Rand, it is no longer considered that. So a lot of guys shine are saying, no, we were going to refuse to pick up a weapon, because they kind of have this affinity toward their origins, because they're thinking, in order to be a
Well, actually, guy shine never pick up weapons. Guy shine are not supposed to pick up weapons, but what it is that usually a guy shine serves for, I think, a year and a day, and then they get to go home and go back to being normal. Um, but some of them are refusing to take off the white and are demanding to stay guy shine,
they're
or
just doing it.
basically they're not demanding it. They're
Yeah, they're
basically
literally just doing it. They're like, "Hey,
yes,
you can
they're
go
just
home," and they're
doing
like,
it. They're
"I'm not
refusing to
going
take
home."
off
Well, you can go home. Well, I'm not going home. Here's your tea. No, no, no. I'm guy. Go home. Well, I'm a guy
I'm
shine. Here's
guy
your tea. You're
shine.
like, no, stop. Like, let's go home. No. So it's kind of but it's a big deal for the IU. Like a big, big, big deal that this is happening. So this is what they're referring to as the bleakness.
Yes.
So coming back to Rand, um, after he's discussing plans with the clan chiefs and going over everything and trying to figure out, which way to go next, what to do, Egwene and Moraine, they kind of double team him, gang up on him a little bit. They're both kind of stop giggling. Um, they're both kind of getting at him, just kind of saying, "Hey, you should do this, you should do this, don't do that." And then about the time they're kind of really lighting into him, he starts having some of Lews Theron's memories. So this is really when we start seeing Rand
Yes.
having the memories and the voice of Lews Theron. It starts out as kind of scattered memories that come at really inopportune times. Might be voices.
Do you think that sorry. Do you think that maybe going into Ruidion and going into the Terangrial could have
I think it's possible, but I
caused that
also
to happen?
think, to me, kind of looking over the whole series, and without spoiling anything past Fires of Heaven, of course, but kind of looking over the whole series, or even looking up to the events of Fires of Heaven, I kind of think it was just kind of part and parcel of being the Dragon Reborn, because you have this whole theme of reincarnation, which is
True.
basically the belief that you're the same. It's essentially the same person being reincarnated in different, through different people, different ways. So there's,
That's why I think that
and it could
the
have,
Terangrial could have caused it, because whenever he went through the Terangrial,
hmm
he was seeing the memories of his past lives, or
yeah, his
not
ancestors,
his
right?
past lives, but his bloodlines, and that gave the place that Lews Theron's
It
memories
could also
needed
be
to
that
speak
because
into.
he's made if you really look at what's happened between really Eye of the World, but definitely Great Hunt through to the beginning of the Fires of Heaven, he has taken a substantial leap in fulfilling prophecy. It's like the rate at which he's fulfilling them. I mean, he has cleared a lot of ground. And I want to
True.
think that also, I mean, it could be all of it. It could all play in together about his development, his you know all of these things. But to me, it could be two things primarily. One, it could just be the fact that as he progressively fulfills more prophecies, he is becoming more the Dragon Reborn. That is a possibility. And then I think another possibility is simply that you've got the taint on Sidene, and it brings all kinds of stuff. And it actually, we kind of get a little better look at this later. We really only have mentions of it so far in the series right now, but um, you find out that the madness kind of manifests itself to these men who can channel in different ways, and Rand is no exception. So to me, part of it could be the madness mixed in with the Taviran, mixed in with the prophecies, mixed in with the reincarnation, and it's just a big cocktail of, oh my god, what is this? Like, that is
That is valid, but we do know that Rand's
right. And
memories of Lews
just
Theron
because
are
it's
real.
madness doesn't necessarily mean it's not real. It's just something that's used against that person. Like, it could be like, because I mean, we
Valid.
can say it like this without really spoiling anything for anything past the books. But a person can be mad, but they can be ranting about things that might be true, but it's heightened by like paranoia and suspicion and things like that. And when Lews Theron really kicks up in Rand's head, you see that. You see a lot of that. Most of it's Rand trying to keep himself together, but if you really pay attention to what's going on with Rand, especially during these Lews Theron memory and voice moments, it's the battle inside of him is really, really being displayed in those moments, the tug of war, if you will. And I really,
Yeah, no, I agree.
right, I was just
I don't
elaborating a little
agree,
more.
but I yeah, I know, but I feel like if the memories were purely just madness, that they wouldn't be as
Mhm.
real and they wouldn't be useful. Um, I feel like there has to be some kind of catalyst that made those memories come to him. And what makes most sense is the
And it still makes a lot
Terangrials
of
because he was
sense. I mean,
experiencing
and I wouldn't say
memories.
it's not. I just think that maybe it's exactly that, but maybe we're just emphasizing it a little differently, because I think what it is the Terangrial primarily served as the catalyst to make that happen, but it was because he was to that point. It could have been if he wasn't to that point coming through Viridion or whatever, that he something else may have caused it. But I think you're onto it. I think a lot of things are playing into it, but really, truthfully, and again, this isn't a spoiler, we never really quite know what necessarily triggered it. We just know it begins happening, and the last major thing to happen to Rand in terms of being the Dragon Reborn before it starts happening was his passage through Ridion and his revealing as the Karakarn and everything that happened in Shadow Rising, and then this stuff starts to happen in Fires of Heaven. So it's a lot of stuff coming down.
Yeah, that's why I think that
Right.
it could be
And
caused
it's
by
a
it
pretty
slightly.
valid point. Now, talking about Moraine, because we were talking about how she was kind of, you know, getting at Rand and trying to get him to do these things and whatnot. She actually finds another one of the seals on the Dark One's prison, and she sees that it's extremely fragile. So this is something that's really put in the reader's consciousness now, is that these seals are a very big deal.
Yeah, and like at this point, I think this is whenever they can literally like peel pieces off of these seals, and
Mm-hmm.
these seals are made of something called quendiar, which is
And yet,
supposed to
here it
be
is, all
completely
fragile,
unbreakable.
like a small little piece of shale.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
like a piece of porcelain. Or no, even worse than porcelain, because there's a part where I believe Moraine like just shaves off like
Right.
pieces just to show how
So this
fragile it
is
is.
this is a pretty big deal because pretty much all the seals they have found are like this, and they have to very much protect them to keep them from breaking. And it really, to me, when I see
Yes.
the fragility of the seals, it just kind of shows me, or showed me how fast things are really progressing and how desperate the situation already is, even this early in the series. Now, if you were, reading The Fires of Heaven when it was brand new, so you're kind of old. I'm just kidding. Then
Actually, I think it'd be interesting to invite somebody on the show who read them from the
right,
beginning, like
and
when they
I
were
would
first
enjoy
coming
that as
out.
well. But I think though that for people who are reading this for the first time, way back when this was the newest book and it was the only book that was left, you really you don't. It really puts it in your head that the end could come at pretty much any time, because when when I sat down and read through all the books, with all the books having been written, I just read them this just several months ago, and but in every single book, even
Yeah.
though I knew
When
which book it ended in, I still felt like, well, he could have really took a turn at the end of this book and ended it. Like he really could have. The way he just kind of kept saying, okay, well, it's around the corner, it's around the corner, it's around the corner. Even this early on in the book, he's showing us things that, oh
yeah,
man, things are really ramping up.
I was when I started reading these books, I think up to Knife of
Yeah,
Dreams
like I
was
said,
out.
I actually literally read most of them this past year and then finished in the beginning of this year. And, I had all 15. So, I knew it was like, okay, Memory of Light, I see you. I'm coming for you. And then it beat me up. But anyway, listen to
Yeah.
the last episode about my thoughts on A Memory of Light. So it's her favorite. It's
And my
my
thoughts too,
number
because it's my
five,
favorite.
number four. Anyway, so we see another one of the seals, very
Uh,
fragile. Um, Now Matt's doing a Matt thing. He picks up a Shido woman of all
oh
the,
yeah.
the ideal women he could have picked up. He picked up a
And
Shido
by
woman
pick
named
up,
Melindra.
yes, and of course the first thing that Matt asks Melindra is, "Does the daughter of my nine moons mean anything to you?" That becomes Matt's
He's
catchphrase
basically
as he
like,
flirts with
"Hey,
women
baby,
from
want a
here
drink?
on
Do they
out.
call you the daughter of the nine moons?" No, okay, just checking. And that's basically Matt's mo for a while. Um, but she actually left the Shido to become a maiden of the spear.
Well, she was a maiden of the spear. She just chose to stay with the main force of the maidens rather than
Right, so
following the
she's actually
Shido
coming
because
to
she
I
disagreed with
guess
the
you could say
Shido.
the Farder as my proper instead of the ones that are just kind of lumped in or linked in with a Shido.
Yes, because the way that the IEL is a lot. The IEL is a lot. I think we should do an
Well,
entire
we had to do that for the
episode or two
Shan-Chan.
on
We're
just
definitely
the
going to have to do
IEL
it for the
culture.
IEL.
But
Good Lord.
we might have to do a 3-part episode for
Part
the
1,
IEL
plans.
just because we have
Part
so much
2,
information
societies.
on them.
Part
We don't
3,
have much
Cheito.
information. So you've got the way that they're set up, and everybody has their clans and their sect, but there's also societies, and the Maidens of the Spear are a society, and they are made up of women
Right.
of different septs and different clans. So that's the easiest way to explain
Basically, Melindra
basics
left her
to
clan
understand why
to join a society. It's
Melindra's
basically what she did.
yes, to stay with their society, and she didn't agree with Couladin and chose to
So,
stay
speaking
with her
of
society.
maidens and all of that, if I'm saying this wrong, I'm sorry, but Isindra she was a maiden, was she not? Thorn? She was just
No, she wasn't. What she was she was
yeah,
one
that's
of the
right. Because I
women
couldn't
who were
remember if
with
she was. I
the
don't think she's a
caravan.
maiden.
And
Well,
I think
she
caravan
is
really
really
weird.
getting under Avienda and the other maiden's skin because she's constantly trying to sleep with Rand. She's like, "Yo, hey, Karn, I see you, sweetie," and the other women are like, "Seriously, quit."
Yeah, and she can't really get in because Rand is like, I think, on one of the upper floors of this building, and the maidens are
Right.
all on the floors below him. Like, what happened was essentially Rand chose a building to stay in, and the maidens just kind of moved in. And if he was going to try to move to a different building, they were going to move into that building. So he
Pretty
had no
much,
choice.
and they basically become his. I don't know if I was gonna say entourage,
Big sisters.
but yeah, kind of, or protective detail.
I think Big Sisters. I think Big Sisters works better because they're not just protecting them. They also they're one of the few people who don't give a shit that he's the Karakarn or the Dragon Reborn or anything. They're like, you're the son of a maiden.
I always liked
They're
that.
like, you're gonna act
That was
right.
always great. It's like, hey, you got your big head. You're just a stupid little kid.
So,
Do the thing you do. Like we're here.
I really do think that they think of him as family because they're like, you're the son of the maiden. You're the only son of the
Right.
maiden to ever rejoin the maidens. And they put this high honor on Rand because they really think of him as part of them. Even though Rand's mother was not born Aiel, uh, they still considered her Aiel. Plus, Rand was also the son of an Aiel man, but I think it was
Mhm.
really because his mother was a maiden of the spear, and they
So,
considered her
one
a
other
maiden of the
thing we
spear.
kind of see here is Moraine get into an argument with the Wise Ones. Go figure about Rand's plans to get them out of the way, to take everyone out and leave and go. But not long after we see this little bit of disagreement, we actually see that Rand and the Aiel they get attacked by Shadow Spawn, and this includes Dark Hounds, and these things are nasty.
Um, yeah, and actually, one of the Dark Hounds gets a hold of Matt and
Which,
drools
interestingly
all over
enough,
him.
and this is where we learn some good information about Balefire, because Rand uses Balefire to kill the Dark Hounds. And when he kills a Dark Hound that was doing those things to Matt, was getting all over him, slobbering all over him, whatever. And if you know anything about Dark Hounds, you know that if that happens, you're basically done. Um,
Yes, because Darkhound saliva is essentially like kind of a cross between a
right.
poison and an acid.
It's nasty. Yeah, it's nasty stuff. Like
It's
it's not
extremely
going to.
corrosive.
it's not good for the skin. So we see
But yeah, sorry. Whenever Rand balefires a dark hound, Matt goes from having slobber all over his
and I think
arm
this
to
is where
just like a
Moraine.
drop.
I'm trying to remember if this is where Moraine tells him or what, but she heals Matt because he's still yeah. She tries to heal Matt. He has to take
She
his
tries
amulet
to.
off that you know protects him from weaves and protects him from the one power that he got.
This is when we first find out what the amulet actually does, because before he just had it.
I'm sorry, I forgot what we were.
There were my cat just
So
yowling away.
anyway, so Moraine
Um,
heals Matt after he removes his amulet, and then she pretty much lights into Rand about how dangerous Bellfire is. So Rand's kind of like, okay, okay, I'm not going to use it unless we really have to. I'm just not going to do it. But Rand kind of turns the situation to his advantage because here he kind of basically all the trust between him and Moraine is just so strained. It's pretty much gone. It's just kind of broken down, and it's gotten so low that in order for Moraine to make sure that she's still on mission, keeping Rand the Dragon Reborn on his path, she actually swears to obey Rand and not to try and manipulate him. Which I don't know how successful that second part is, but the first part was pretty big deal, and this is something that is unheard of for an Aes Sedai to swear to obey anyone, especially if they were not, Amerlin Seat or the sitters. Right,
even the Amerlin, even the
right. There's no
Amerlin doesn't
fealty among the Aes
require
Sedai.
swears of
There's a
fealty.
hierarchy. There is a structure, but there's no. You don't swear fealty to the Amerlin Seat. You just, you know,
Although
right.
Moraine's pretty powerful in her own right. I mean, I think the only people currently in the tower who are stronger than her are or equal to her are
Well, she's not
probably
in the
just
tower anymore, but
Swan.
I get what you mean. She
Oh yeah,
she
good
she
point.
rode
Good
up out
point.
of
She's
there.
already been stilled. So yeah, pretty much if Moraine was there, she'd probably be one of, if not the most powerful Aes Sedai in the tower.
I definitely agree with that. Now, but that's why it's a pretty big deal that she's swearing to obey Rand because this is such a you know you part of you wants to be like Rand, come on, dude, don't be like that. But at the same time, it just shows Moraine's commitment to her mission. She's a true blue to the core. You know, going after the goal and the cause at the cost of just about everything, if not everything. And so we see this happen, and then um, right after that happens, Lanfear shows up to Rand. She's doing her Lanfear thing, calling him loose there and all of that annoying stuff. She really got on my nerves with that. I'm just being honest. Like, dude is definitely Rand al'Thor, not loose there. And come
Yeah,
on, lady.
she is
Mm-hmm.
she's absolutely obsessed with Lews Therin, and she doesn't seem to understand
But
that
see,
Lews Therin and Rand
Lanfear,
al'Thor are
for
two
all her
different people.
forsakenness, is still kind of, which all the Forsaken are kind of out to achieve their own ends, but she's a little more of a loose cannon in that she's so obsessed with Lews Therin, i.e., Rand, that she from time to time gives Rand helpful information because she's trying to win him. So in this instance, she comes around and says, "Hey, you know
Yes,
what? I know where Ravine is. Ravine is in Camelin, and he has got more gays Trakand. So that's where you need to go next." And he's yeah, exactly. He's got her
Rathdrum.
under his spell, literally. So we need to. That's where you need to go next. If you're looking for Ravine, you're looking for the other Forsaken. He's over there. So Rand accepts the information. I mean, he doesn't fall all over Lanfear, thank God, but he's not that dumb. But
And I'm glad that he doesn't just follow her advice right away. He
he
kind
sticks to
of
his guns, but he considers the
sorry,
info,
my
and he does, consider it and consider using it, but he doesn't immediately change his plans from doing what they've been planning to do with the IEL to saying we've got to go to Camelin. Like he doesn't just take off and do something, because he still kind of knows in the back of his head, okay, she's Forsaken. She could be leading me straight into a trap. I mean, she's obsessed with me, but that doesn't mean she wouldn't lead me into a trap. So, we need to do what we originally planned, and then maybe work around to getting around to Camelin. But we need to go where we're going first. So we find out next that the Shido are getting out of the waste. They're leaving, and Rand pretty much follows after them. So he's taking I want to say the rest of the Aiel, but the other large chunk of the Aiels, quite a lot of the Aiel, because I do believe some stayed behind in the waste, but a substantial number of Aiel with him to go after the Shido. Um, they run up on another Trolloc attack, kind of a trend there. And then what happens is they get through the waste. They're following the Shido out of the waste, and when they get out of the waste, they see that a town has been attacked. And the survivor from the town says that this attack was a message to Rand, and this message was from Couladin, who is the leader of the Shido, the fake Karakarn, um, Mr. I'm going to yell it and stamp my foot at everything. Um, and then they learn something very disturbing to the Aiel. Well, it's disturbing, period. Couladin is taking Wetlanders as Gaishine, which is a no-no.
he's essentially taking slaves because wetlanders don't follow Jiito. So because a guy shine has an option. I mean, it can be shaming to not become guy shine if you've done something, but there is
Right,
an option. You can be shamed if you want to. But wetlanders don't follow Jiito, and so they have no
right.
basis to become guy shine.
So they find these things out after um, after discovering this town. So, on the road again, on the pursuit, and
Oh,
turn. Avienda gives Rand Layman's sword. So, if anyone remembers Lame Layman, he was the Kyrianan king that basically started the Aiel War when he decided to take the nice, pretty huge
yes,
tree that they gave him, and that was stood as a testament, right, of Vendosora,
yes,
that
Avendasora.
basically was a symbol of peace and understanding between the Aiel and the Kyrian, and really just kind of the Wetlanders in general. It was just kind of a general symbol, but it was in Kyrian. He decides, hey, you know what? That make
Actually, it was towards the Kyrianan because remember that one memory of Rand's where they share water with some
yes,
people? That
yeah,
that
yep,
was
no, you're right,
Kyrian at
you're
its
right. So
roots.
anyway, peace between Kyrian and the Aiel, and if anyone remembers your Wheel of Time geography, Kyrian is the largest city to the farthest east. So basically, if you go any further east than Kyrian, you've hit the Dragon Wall, which of course the Aiel live on the other side of. So
Yes.
anyway, but Layman was the king that basically said, "I like that tree. That's a nice tree. You know what I'm gonna do with it? I'm gonna make a throne. I'm gonna cut that sucker down. I'm gonna make a throne."
Yeah, he just wanted the biggest and best throne, and so he cut down the symbol of peace between the Aiel and the Kyrianan just
And
so he
then
could
an
have the
entire
fancy
war was
chair.
fought. It was great fun. Um,
And
yeah, we don't want to go into all
that's
of
kind
that.
of a new spring
Um,
spoiler.
so, kind of keeping to what's in this book. Um, so Avienda actually has Layman's sword. It was something they. I mean, it's no spoiler that the Aiel basically came across the Dragon Wall to get Layman. I mean, we've already kind of discussed it in the series proper by this point.
Yes,
That was kind of their point.
and it was pretty much just to kill Layman, and the sword is
Hmm.
kind of passed between Aiel people. They don't use it because they don't use swords, but somebody will buy it, and then somebody else will buy it off of them
So at this
whenever
point,
that person
Avienda
gets
has
tired
it.
of it, and
Go
etc.
figure. And Right. Like
Well,
I
she
said,
bought it
go figure.
specifically for Rand.
So she gives it to Rand to try to even out. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he got her a bracelet.
So that's something we didn't really touch on last review, was the fact that Rand's just
Yeah.
doing these things for and toward Avienda, not even thinking about it, and she is going ballistic trying to because she's perceiving it as toe,
Yeah.
like he's bestowing stuff to her, giving stuff to her, putting her in his debt, and she's trying to fulfill toe
Well,
to him, and he's like, what are you even talking about?
actually, what it is that the bracelet that he chose to give her, he asked the maidens what a good gift for Avienda would be. They thought that he was trying to court her. So the bracelet that he gave her was basically a courting gift. So Avienda feels the need to even out her toe because she feels like she's betraying Elaine if she keeps the bracelet without giving something to Rand.
So speaking of the sword, Rand in the conversation with Avienda kind of, well, I think it's a conversation. He basically discovers that the sword itself was actually made with the power, so it's a power wrought sword. So
I think it was
in
just
this,
by looking at it he was able to tell.
yeah, he's kind of like, I am a channeler. I am the Dragon Reborn. Look, I feel Sidene all over this thing. Something
Well,
similar to that.
I don't think it was so much that it's that it was heron marked, and he could tell that the blade wasn't dulled, and the Aiel refused to even to give the blade to Rand. Avienda had it wrapped in a blanket. That's how badly she did not want to touch the
Hmm.
sword. And the
I
Aiel
remember
all
that.
have kind of that same sentiment towards it. So there's
Right.
no way that these Aiel people are sharpening this sword and keeping it sharp. But it is
Hmm.
as sharp as if it was newly forged and freshly sharpened by a master smith.
Power wrought sword. So he notices all that, and he basically ditches the hilt and the scabbard because they're covered in jewels and they're useless. Which
And
Avienda
also, like, it's in
ultimately,
the way.
right? Yeah, it's just gaudy. You know, it's just this gaudy
Yes.
hilt. I think,
That's kind of the theme of Lamon. He's just so gaudy and gross.
yeah, that's that. It really is. I mean, who else but a guy like him would cut down the Aventusora? I mean, you know, so I
Yeah.
want this huge throne, and
And
that'll
which is
do.
really odd for Kyrianen because Kyrianen tend to be more subdued. They wear darker colors. They do
Right,
usually have their house colors on their clothing, but they prefer darker
right.
clothing.
So, in all of that, he gives this jewel encrusted, gaudy horror of a
Mess.
hilt back to Avienda, who then flips it for a profit. So it ended up
Well,
getting
she
some
has
good use
no
anyway.
choice.
Yeah, well, she's gonna get rid of it. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm not. Nope, 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 nope. So she unintentionally makes a huge profit off of it. But like she said, Thorne said she kind of had to get rid of it. Um, in the process of chasing Couladin, they get attacked by Trollocs and Dark Friends again. um, this time, Rand's a little more is a little more forward in saying that he believes that Samael is trying to
Yes,
goad him into doing certain things to kind of draw
the
him away from Kyrian.
the dark friends that were in the attack actually yelled for Samael and the golden bees, I believe it is,
Golden Bees of Ilion, because that's
which
who
is
that's
what really it's not just Rand believing that it's Samael just
it
for
is
no
Samael.
reason. There's a reason to believe that it's Samael. I mean, it could be another Forsaken who just told the people to say that, but Rand has an actual reason to believe it's Samael. It's
Right,
not just a guess, you know?
right. So Rand believes, assumes that it's Samael trying to goad him because largely he has this memory from Lews Therin that that's what Samael would do in the Age of Legends. He would try to goad Lews Therin into doing certain things by sending men in attacks and things like that. That was Samael's MO. That was his strategy. Um, Rand kind of is recalling these memories from Lews Therin, and he shares them with Asmodean, who we've not really touched on very much. Um, but
Hard point.
Asmodean is still in tow. No, not J.E. Tow, just kind of with them. Um, he's still around, and when he starts hearing about these memories that Rand is having of the Age of Legends, they actually scare Asmodean. He's like, "Whoa, how do you know all that stuff? Like that is freaky, man. Like I'm not with that at all." So these memories are becoming a bigger deal as time progresses. And then the last thing we're going to mention tonight, because we've got a few other things we've got to attend to on the episode tonight, um, is Rand tells the clan chiefs that he will hang anyone who murders or burns anything, even in Kyrian. So he's not going to allow the Aiel to murder or burn anyone, which he was really just kind of being. He was really just trying to make sure there was no lawlessness going to happen in their wake. So he basically issues that order to the clan chiefs, and they continue their way onto Kyrian. So that's kind of where we're going to leave off tonight. We may have to do a three-parter on this one because there's actually
Yeah,
the
this
notes
this
we
is a
have
big
are
one.
yeah, the notes we have are a lot. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in this book, and we were kind of able to condense the Shadow Rising down a little bit, but we may have to go into three for the Fires of Heaven simply because we've got some additional things we want to address on the podcast. So, Thorn, what do we got next here?
So after we're done with the Fire of Heavens review. Not exactly sure. I mean, like we could run through the rest of it next week. Don't know at this point,
Just stay
but
tuned.
just stay tuned. We are going to do a Q&A after we finish the Fires of Heaven review. So it could be 2 episodes from now. It could be 1 episode from now. We'll see. But I will post whenever on Friday after this podcast is released. I will post on the Black Tower Podcast Twitter the master post for the Q&A. You can also send questions to blacktowerpodcast@gmail.com, of course, and I will write them down. If you would like to remain anonymous, please let us know. But for the most part, I think the master list of our Q&A will be on Twitter, and I will have it pinned to the top of the Black Tower Podcast Twitter.
So some of you may be listening to this podcast or this episode rather, for one reason and one reason only.
Oh wait, one more thing. Sorry.
Oh, you have to
Yeah,
cut that out then.
I don't think that you're reading the notes.
Honestly, I'm really not.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
also
you just did the Q&A, right? You just did the Q&A announcement.
yes.
Okay, all right.
Now I want
So
to.
okay, I can. You want me to do it, or do you want to do it? You're gonna cut all this out, so
Yeah. Okay,
okay.
I
Well,
think I
you
can do
said
it though.
yeah, but okay, so you can do it, or
I thought that you were just gonna go on, and I thought you were reading my notes.
so on top of that, we've got some new Patreon rewards. So all soldiers on our Patreon will now be getting access to bloopers. We may not have them for every episode. I definitely think we might have a few for this one. But you will be getting access to bloopers things that we have cut out that did not make it into the episode, especially things that may be more humorous. If you like the Jeopardy theme song, you're gonna hear me sing it a little bit. Thorn doesn't know that
Again.
actually right now. Again, maybe. Also, dedicated and Asha'man patrons will now be getting to listen to our pre-show conversation. So Thorn and I get basically together, voice to voice, and we kind of hash these things out, but we also kind of goof off and get loosened up for the actual episode. And there's some shenanigans that
Yeah,
take place, and I
especially this
believe,
episode.
oh my gosh, wrestling fans, I'm looking at you. So, so definitely dedicated and Asha'man. We hope that's something that you will enjoy. And then the Asha'man specifically, as our third new reward, we'll get to listen to the unedited episode from beginning to end. So, in other words, no cuts, no nothing. It'll be much longer episodes than you're probably used to, but you will have access to it. You will be able to listen to all the bloopers will be there, so you'll hear everything naturally. You hear the breakdowns in our progression. You'll hear where we mess up and we cut that out. I mean, you'll get some the bloopers as well, so you'll get the whole thing. So definitely excited about being able to give you guys these new rewards. If you are interested in becoming a patron and you're interested in getting on some of these rewards, some of these goodies, then all you've got to do is just hit us up on the Patreon and become a patron.
I'll put a link in the description.
We've got varying tiers. We have the soldier, dedicated, and Asha'man tiers, as is befitting of the Black Tower. So just look and see what you can commit to throw our way per month, and that will give you access to the rewards and a few other things that we have mentioned and not mentioned here tonight. Now, some of you may know that I had a peculiar
Mistake.
tweet this week. It was not a mistake. Marketing 101 tells me I'm a genius, but I'm about to feel the weight of my genius. I tweeted last week, actually after we recorded our last episode. The tweet says, and I am reading it, as many may know, at Thorn Fireheart, Thorn, and I are the new hosts of At Tower Podcast, which is our Black Tower Podcast Twitter. So to all those followers and to Wheel of Time, it should have been Twitter of Time, I make this offer. I put 2 eyes in this. Good God, Twitter. Anyone who retweets this will get a shout out on our next episode, which is premiering 5/3, which if you are listening, that is Friday. We're recording this on a Monday, but that is when you'll have access to this episode is Friday. So get the word out. I will read every name.
Hashtag
So
Wheel of Time Wednesday.
I said, yeah, there's hashtag there. But that was for Wheel of Time Wednesday last week. You guys gave it 82 likes and 109 retweets. Not to mention there were some other mentions. So I'm going to go ahead and preface this before we get into this by saying that if I forget your name, if I don't read it, it's probably because the way this app is set up, I have missed it somehow. I apologize in advance if you retweeted in some way and I've overlooked you. Please at the...
Also, we may spread this over a few episodes.
Yeah, we're kind of short on time tonight, so we may have to. So if you don't hear your name tonight, then more than likely we will do some more. We'll tell you we'll do some more names next episode. We may do them for every Fires of Heaven episode, and then because you guys just flooded me with retweets. It's partially Thorn's fault, but
a little bit.
She kind of whipped you guys into a frenzy. But needless to say,
25.
Was it just the last 25? No.
24,
I think
25.
I think it was sooner than that.
I shared it.
Whatever.
You were at 85
when
I shared it. No, it wasn't.
Poor Salt.
I just decided that I wanted to have some fun with it. I was feeling a little ornery that day.
Is that the word for it, Thorn? Is that the word? Ornery? Is that the word?
Also, I think that's also the day that I made my my Torm.
That disgusting thing. Anyway, so I am just scrolling to the bottom of the list here and just working my way up. And like I said, if you don't get your name tonight, listening over the next couple of episodes, if you don't hear it at all in conjunction with this tweet, please let us know. You can message or tweet at Thorn Fireheart on Twitter, myself at the Dragon Reborn 2, and then of course probably the best way would actually be the Black Tower Podcast Twitter account, which is at Tower Podcast. So starting at the bottom, William Almack is number one here. Then the Fall Dara account. Okay, very cool. Holly.
Altara 808.
Yep, and may read. So if your handles are substantially different from your names, I will read your handles as well. Holly Bittel. I hope I said your last name right. Papa Brew, got the Fallout guy on his profile picture there. Jojo at Jojo Sadai. Good calling
Totally
out.
did not just make a Twitter to join the Twitter of time mood, though.
Gallifreyan Trailers at Doctor Who Trailers. Hey, I'm a Doctor Who fan. Well met, friend.
Me too.
And you just said you didn't. We just had a whole conversation about sci-fi. I don't really choose sci-fi, and you're a Doctor Who fan. We need to have
haven't
word.
seen anything
Which
new.
we'll talk later. Next up, Poked by a Pinniped, which is okay, cool. At Luke Thorne, Matt E. I don't know if Luke Thornmate. I'm so sorry, man. You had these capital letters really throw me off. Zaphod Beeblebrox at not Zaphod 79. You were never the president of the galaxy. Nynaeve Sadai, Braid Tugger, what's going on? Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for the retweet. I'm the one giving you the shout out. It's late here. Chromulon number 314, which is at Leah
Letton Mackey.
Letton Mackey. Okay, cool. Wheel of Time poster at Rogue Elfin. That's the pollster account in the Twitter of Time.
Them.
Very much enjoy the polls. Good work, pollster, and thank you for the retweet. Kyle Malfit at K Malfit. Follow me on here. Follow me on Twitter. That's what his little bio says. It's either Arena or Arena, which is at Geek Yeri, which is Geek spelled the normal way, Yeri. Looks like you are a big fantasy fan from your small bio here. Thank you very much for the retweet. Brody Donovan at Brody P. Donovan. Thanks for the retweet. Conan the Cimmerian. Nice. At Conan 7191. Nakomi at Nakomi 14. Looks like that's a fellow Wheel of Time participant. Yep. Melanie at Mel _Sadai. Watt Thoughts. WOT Thoughts at the Watt Duty. Very nice to hear from you guys. And then Curly at Sarah Curly Whirly. Now I have to stop here because Curly, ever since I have started the Randall Thor account, Curly has been like my herald. Like done more work than the all over the place. Just like every time I say something as Rand or whatever, every time I say, I call on more Dragonsworn to follow the account and all this other stuff, she's just right in there, just retweeting and liking and sharing. So awesome stuff. Great to see you on here. Thank you very much for the retweet, and your tweets and interactions on Twitter of Time are not unnoticed, friend. Then she interacts
with me a lot too.
What's that?
She interacts with me a lot too. Yeah, she's just big in the community.
But I'm the Dragon Reborn. Come on. I mean, come
on. You're so important.
Come on. Well, yeah. Did you not read Wheel of Time? Come on, man. Okay, just kidding. Badali Jewelry. Very big thank you. Like, you guys are great.
I love Badali. I actually recently lost my ring, and I'm very sad about it because I had an Aes Sedai ring, and now it's gone. I blame my daughter.
Daggone, I was trying to give you a moment of silence for the ring. You ruined it. Moving right along. Nick Evans at SNaven _520. Thank you for the retweet, sir. Jake the Great at Jake C. Mellick. Awesome. Master G, what's up? At David Grimm 71. Daniel Chesick at Tweet from My Seat. Nice handle. Okay, I'm with it. Thank you for the retweet. Kyla M. Johnson, same Twitter handle for that. Thank you very much for the retweet. Austin McCarty, Nice. Thank you very much. Shell Vannon, the Shell Vannon account. What is up, my favorite
Him.
man from the
That's
band of the
also
Red
my heart.
Hand? Good on you, mate. Thank you for the retweet. Nicole, which is at Nick underscore the short one. We also have Case Scoggin. And if I butcher your last name or your first name or any part of your name, please don't at me. I'm from the South. So at Emerald Trillium, Caroline Brown at Dreaming CK. Great. Thank you for the retweet. AJ Weber 424 at AJ Weber 04. Gabriel, not Gabriel or Gerbil, Gabriel at GSM underscore Gabriel 98. I'm liking these Wheel of Time quotes in the short bios here.
Me
Sunny
too.
Ray at Sunny Rays 98. I'm a programmer now at Matthew B. Wright. Now we got to give this guy a big shout out. Alon Mandragoran at Malkir's King. Dude, you put out some great stuff every week on Twitter. We definitely appreciate your contribution. We certainly appreciate the retweet.
I was
Thank you
so
very much,
excited
friend.
to see his game.
Yeah. So thank you very much for the retweet. I hope you enjoy your shout out. And Tyshar Manethrin. So
You mean Ty Sharmak here?
I know what I said. So I am kidding. Tyshar Manethrin. So Kara Dialface at Mavi underscore Maroka. Nick Himmelsbach at N1492. Benjamin Phelps at Wink with 2Ks underscore FFBE. Jay Nelson at Steel Nelson 92. Thaurik at Thaurik Rekif. Here's another very big one. Dragonmount.com.
Yes.
Such an honor. Such an honor to get the retweet from you guys. Great Wheel of Time community. Been around forever. You know, you guys are a cornerstone. We certainly appreciate that. That is just, you know, my heart is beating in my chest very hard right now because it's awesome. It's so exciting. A girl named Pedro at Bo underscore Foo. And actually, that makes me think of something real quick. Yes. So she retweeted, but she also quoted, and she replied, and I remembered this, so I'm going to go ahead and do this now. So she retweeted and she said, would love if you could give Weaves of the Wheel community on Instagram a shout out, please, at Weaves of the Wheel. Weaves of the Wheel, we see you. We definitely see you. And you guys, thank you so much for the retweet, and we hope you enjoy the shout out, and we hope that our shout out helps you in your endeavor to grow your community. So thank you very, very much for the shout out. Where was I? I got to go back to the list. Big list. How are we on time here, Thorn?
I think we're doing okay.
Okay, well, we'll just keep going. Maybe we can get everybody in tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, because we're going through this pretty fast.
Okay, so here we go. All right, so Julie Brandon at Dr. B99, Hardly at Hardly Any Good, full-time human being. I feel it. As the kids today say, as the kids today say, mood. That was
I'm not a kid.
You are compared to me. I'm just kidding.
You're not even 30 yet.
My wife reminds me every day, you're almost 30. I'm like, shut up. No, stop. So Theodore Zeshev, sorry if I really screwed up your name. Yeah, that Zeshev at T Zeshev, software developer. Cool. That's awesome. BJ Anderson at Nerd Singer BJ. And BJ is spelled Beej, so give him a shout out. Looks like he is. He's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, an all around nerd, and now so deeply pissed off. Well, we hope you get happy soon.
Big mood though.
You're pissed off? Why are you pissed off?
I'm always pissed off.
No, you're not.
I'm raging fire.
So you're Bruce Banner. You're always mad.
Yes.
You didn't see that movie. Don't even act like you know what that reference is for. I caught you. I got you. Got you in a corner. Anyway.
I've heard the name before.
I've heard the name before. Um, so Gary at GJ Gordon, Jenny Rapp at Raptor, Rappter,
That's
Crowley
cute.
at Ask for Ken, Terry Watts at A Force 12C, William Elam at Bones the B Co 1, Brandon R at Brandon, spelled a weird way.
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandyn. Nice. Robert at King D 1971, Chris Fox at CW Fox 01, Wrathful Zeus, same handle, very nice. Taviran Tees. Hi
Yes,
guys.
we
So
love you.
honored. So much. Need to have you
You're the
guys
best.
back on the show because we're new hosts, so you need to come hang out with us. But
Yes.
definitely thank you for the retweet, very much appreciated. Sam Pollock 13, Black Panther 2020. I'd vote for you at Lakeside Liberal. Cheeseburger in Paradise. Cool. S Baker 209, Cynthia Naval at CL Naval,
I
Michael
think that might
Warner
be you.
Naval. You know
That's
what?
what I was thinking.
I'm so screwed up on trying to read names that I don't think I can pronounce. That when I can pronounce something easy, I just muck it up. Michael Warner at Michael Warner. Zadimano.
Zad. Yeah, I think that's right.
Zadimano. Yeah. If not, you can tell me I'm wrong. It's okay. I won't get my feelings hurt. Um, Jason at Red 3 standing by. Star Wars reference. My man. Um, Liet Cohen Shaked at 8, Tiger Lily 8. Good to hear from you. Christian at, well,
Christy.
you got a lot of numbers in your handle.
At
Chris D.
Christy 317694147.
There you go. Thank you, Thorn.
Oh god,
Um,
my phone changed colors.
James Johannes at James Al Thor. I see what you did there. Is this
I think it's Mr.
Is it
Chevs.
Mr. Chevs? Yeah, Mr. Chevs at GH_EVS.
Or it could be no, it's Mrs.
Is it Mrs.
Hev.
Heves? It's one of those, but I got the handle out there. So very good to hear from you. Kevin Kreidemeyer at Coach, I guess Coach Cret.
I think it's Coach Crete. I think that looks German to me. So it would be Kretemeyer.
So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have discovered that while clueless about superheroes, she knows German. So, moving on, read.
My real last name is German.
Her real last name is German. Let the search for Thorne's true identity begin. So, Reed Marvin, my man, aspiring Randolph Thor actor, brother. We got to get you on the show. If you're listening to this,
so,
if you
sorry, he is very. He gets excited, and I really love that energy that he brings to things.
Well, if he got on the show with us, we would probably probably like a 3-hour long show because we all just get into it and just talk, which is good. It's good for content. Reed Marvin, yeah. We see you, man. We see your endeavor to become Randolph Thor, and
I love his handle. Caught you reading.
That is so cool. I'm sorry, this is super clever. Good job, mate. Good job, mate. Thank you very much for the retweet. C_C or CC at Carly C Ferguson. Icy Vanilla at Abby Binta. Sagittarius with a difference. Darren Vickers at DAR13 Vic. I think we have interacted before, sir. Thank you for the retweet. Mogedian at Spider_Marigan. Mogedian, what are you doing here? Art. That's also your art. Yes, it is. Thank you, Mogedian, for the retweet. I know it was probably hard for you to hit the retweet button for Randolph Thor, but thank you. Magali Medav at the same handle. Denise at Far Beyond Echoes. Annie E. Clark at, is that Knits and Chains?
Yeah, Knits and Chains.
Yeah, so it's knits spelt the way it sounds, and then Anne, ANNE, and then the word chains. Knits and Chains. Very, very clever. El Poco Loco Sobre Todo. I killed that. That was great.
That was awesome.
At Poco Sobre. And then Aaron Ayers. This is, in fact, Aaron, former host of the Black Tower. Sir, we see you. Much respect. We salute you. Thank you for your groundwork and your work helping us in the support role now. And thank you very much for the retweet. Hot on his heels is Lord Davram Bashir of High Seat of House Bashir, Lord of Bashir, Tyr, and Sidonia. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Your Wheel of Time fans, you know it. At El Bashir, follow him. Matchroom Cotham's Bloody Hat. At Matt Bloody Hat.
That's a great page. That's a great idea for a page. I love it.
Next up is a very controversial figure, Prophet of the Dragon, at Massima Dagar. Prophet, behave yourself. Next is Christopher Klink at Colonel_CK, Trava Husky at Travjita3774. I may have to actually open your account to read all of this. W all about them shark girls brawn.
Brownie, actually.
Brownie, whatever, man.
That's my husband.
That's your husband?
Yes, that's my husband.
Hey, bro. I'm praying for
at
you, man.
100 Warlock with 1 T.
Praying for you, man. Light be with you. Next up, the big woman at J Bristow Smith, DGPL at Papa Falsa, Love Lisa at Mrs_Shuey, Kevin Cosgrave at Kevin Cosgrave, Hi Moraine Damadred, retweeting us. What's up? At MM Moraine, another awesome character account you should all go follow. Audrey at Adori. She says she's a yellow Aja, brown coat, Freeman, Hoovian. We need to be friends.
She's also Nakomi.
Oh, yeah, she is Nakomi. That's right. It's right there. You just need to keep reading, Greg. Sorry, I'm just getting these little snippets of stuff, so sometimes I miss things. Asha'man Zupka at M Zupka.
I have a lot of fun with him in the White Tower Discord.
He needs to come on over to the Black Tower as well, not instead of. Yeah, you're in the wrong camp, brother. You gotta come hang out with other Asha'man, man. Women of the Wheel at Wheel Women. Respect. Thank you for the retweet. Enjoying the content you guys are putting out. Marcus Jorth, or is it Hajorth? It's spelled with an H. So it's at Hajorth1, Hajorth. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce the H or not.
H-A-O-R-T-H.
Anyway, thank you for the retweet. A blue at Parilla Adela.
I think it's Paria.
Hey, you know what? I don't know.
I think it's Spanish.
Sure. I'm okay with that. Min Farshaw at Farshaw Min. Very good character account. Lots of interactions between my account and her account. If you've read the series, you know why. Logain Ablar. What's up, Logain? Be more active because we all love you. At Logain_Ablar1. This one says pastels and mermaids UWU.
It's ooh.
Whatever. How am I supposed to know if I'm supposed to actually read it or like spell it out? Like I'm always so confused by that. Wow, we're actually almost done. We won't have to actually spread this out over 2 episodes if you're all still listening. Is it Frank Speicher?
I'm going to go with Spicker.
Spicker? At PCC38 Lightning. That's kind of cool. Perrin A. Barra. At Luhan's Forge. Good Perrin A. Barra account. Very much appreciate the retweet. And then last but not least, Jack of the Shadows. At Hayden M_Watt. WOT for Wheel of Time. Also, thank you very much to those that mentioned us and replied to this, which is Curly, Icy Vanilla, Darren Vickers. The whole show will be a shout out. Looking forward to it. Not quite, but close. Girl named Pedro, who got us to shout out for Weaves of the Wheel. Perrin Barra, Logan Ablar. Of course, our very own Black Tower podcast, Thorn, you just getting up in here and cause all kinds of mischief. Willow Time Polster,
Yes, wait,
Thaldara.
my name in Black Tower weren't on the retweet.
Not on the retweet, they're on the replies. I'm just kind of going over the replies. There's not
I
very
did
many.
retweet it though, so it didn't appear.
You don't. What do you mean it didn't appear? I'm looking at it right now. Good. I like easy. See, that's when I made the "that's what she said" joke. Yes, I
So
went
that
there.
wasn't a retweet. That was a
Also,
reply.
I happen to remember this retweet, and I have saved it for last for a special reason. I don't know why it's not showing up, but I happen to remember it because our friend Marta from Discord retweeted, and she said she'd love to hear her last name pronounced. Marta, I can't find that reply. I know that your name...
Just search her.
I still can't find it.
It's... Hold on.
We're already running pretty long anyway. She wants to hear us try to pronounce her name.
Marta, I'm thinking it's Walzik? Walzik?
I'm going to go with what she said. Walsik? Something like that. Am I correct in assuming that that's like Polish?
I believe she's Polish.
Okay. I knew she was European. I didn't remember where you're from. Marta, thank you very much for the retweet. Thank you very much for being a very big fixture in the Black Tower Discord community. We appreciate you and all of your interactions with us. And she actually just came through a reading of her own, which was entertaining for the rest of us because she was giving us live updates in the spoiler channel in the Discord, and it was fantastic. Great. It was fantastic. So, but that's all the names I've got. If I have left any off, please let me know, and I will hit you guys up on the next episode. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Tower Podcast. You can email us at blacktowerpod@gmail.com. Also hit us up on the Discord and the Patreon, especially now that we have new goodies. And I think that's all we've got tonight. So a little bit longer episode, but lots of shenanigans tonight. So with that being said, I'm Greg.
And I'm Thorn.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.